As you can see, it's raining right now. I'm standing in one of the prairies that we burned about a week ago, and I'm doing something that is just a little tip that you can learn to help enhance your prairies. This one's already been planted. I'm not gonna go back and replant it. It's year number 2, and there was one species that I wanted to get a little bit more in here, and that's big blue. So I'm actually just going in, taking advantage of this rain, and I'm just basically just lightly hand sprinkling some blue stem throughout this native prairie, because this is one field that I really want to be a nice tall stand. So I'm walking around just throwing a little of this extra in this area, and we're going to take you through some of the prairies today, kind of year 1, year 2, and year 3, so you can kind of see what to expect. So for right now, it's raining. This is exactly what you want. It's a perfect day, not to plant your first prairie, okay? But if you're going to go and enhance the prairie that you have, we burned it, all the thatch is kind of gone. It's the perfect time where this rain is just going to work this seed right into the ground before the birds get on it, and that's why I like doing it in the rain like this. So I'm going to walk around, hit a few of the areas that I saw last year that were light with the blue stem, and then we're going to move on. I'm going to show you some little tips and some other things through this journey. Now, don't forget, stay tuned within this episode, because at the end, we're going to be giving away that free prairie from all the people that commented last year when we did the meeting with Scott Schaefer. He came out here, wildlife biologist. If you didn't watch that video, you got to watch that one, because there was a lot of great information in that, and somebody is going to win that prairie that we talked about, and that will be at the end of this episode, so stay tuned. One little tip that you can keep in mind: we got a nice breeze coming right here, which is great, because I'm able to basically take the seed and throw it up high, and then it gets spread all out. So it's just a nice, that way you're not getting a ton of seed just like in one spot, because that's not what I'm looking for right now. Again, this field's already been planted. I'm just trying to put a little extra seed on the ground. The wind's coming, I'm just throwing a little bit up to get some more in this field. This is actually a really great view that I want you to see. This is a first year prairie that was planted last year. You can see obviously the grass is dead, it's kind of brown, but what's important is you can see by literally following my hand right up this line, you can see the rosettes, some of the flowers that are in here, but you can literally follow these lines straight up, so you know that that first year that this prairie took. This is a really, really good sign that this year, this is gonna really explode. By year 3, this is going to be a bedding mecca. So this is really good to see. This is exactly what you're looking for. Well, this works out perfect. I didn't know Kevin was going to be here today. So unfortunately, Kevin got a mic stuck and you're being put under the microscope, Kevin. Kevin, if you don't know who he is my forester. He's been with me for many, many years, making all of my farms better. And when I bought this place here, we knew that this one needed a lot of work. And this was one spot that we selected that was going to be just a big prairie up on this hill. It's a great spot, and we planted this one last year. So with Kevin being here, I want to take advantage of this and have him walk through this prairie with me and be able to share with you guys the things that we're looking for to know that this thing took, and we're on our way to having a really nice plot here. So Kevin, take it from here.
Yeah, this is a wonderful site, but we have to go backwards to go forward. When we first looked at this was cool season non-native brome grass, which is absolutely the worst thing that you can establish a native prairie in. It chokes out everything. So Todd spent an enormous amount of time to make sure that we got a good kill on the brome grass.
Literally 3 killings.
3 sprayings: mowing, spraying, following spraying, spray, and then spray again before we planted it.
And I think what you told me was then, and if you can spray again, you spray it again.
Yeah, you get one chance to get a good site preparation. If you don't take advantage of that, it really impacts the planting. So in mid-June of last year, we came in with a no-till drill, and we drilled short grass native prairie onto the site with a whole bunch of wildflowers. And for a one growing season prairie, this looks phenomenal. If you look up and down the rows, anything you see that is orange are our native grasses: little blue stem, side oats, grama. These are short plants that'll get no more than 2 to 3 feet tall. And then anything green in the drill row here, these are all of our wildflowers that are in the rosette stage. Last year, they would have germinated and not done anything. A few of them bloomed. This year, are all going to bloom, and the nice thing about a prairie is literally every 2 weeks, a whole new set of flowers is blooming. So you get habitat year-round with the native prairie. In the winter, you get color, cover, bedding. Very unique, and I absolutely love it. We had a monoculture of non-native brome grass,
Yeah.
and this has been converted. And then to top it off, we're trying to recreate a savanna. That's what we're doing today. We are planting at very wide spacing native oak trees with the goal of, oh, here we go. The goal is to have a big open grown native oak tree. The native oak trees were tolerant of fire, so we could burn and not damage the tree. Full canopy, lots of fall color, acorns, and we're trying to re-simulate what our landscape looked like before we dozed everything off, farmed it, and put it into rough shape. So this is a really great restoration project right here.
Yes. Well, and with that being said, I guess one thing I want to bring up that I think is pretty interesting is last year was, I mean, I might go on record saying that was one of the worst droughts that I can remember, at least for the last 5 or 10 years. I mean, it was pretty rough, and I am just super impressed with how much stuff actually germinated and is growing up here. Now, what didn't work out so well, and you can see it with this planting here, the reason why Kevin's guys are here today and we're doing number 2 is last year you saw me plant those bigger oak trees. They were ball and burlap, and unfortunately, as much as we tried to water them, as much as we tried to keep them alive, it just didn't pan out. So you can actually see down here by Kevin, we went ahead and just cut that stump off, and we planted a new oak next to it because unfortunately they just died and they didn't make it, those big ones. So that's definitely hurt the pocketbook. I'm not gonna lie. I think in the future, if you ever plant those bigger ball and burlap trees, I mean, you really got to have a super good plan to be able to water them. And I think you damn near need to be retired too. Because you get yourself in a situation with that big of a drought, man, they need a lot of water. And I couldn't keep up. So unfortunately, a lot of those died. But this is, honestly, if I was ever going to do it again, this is the way to do it. Buy a smaller oak tree and get it put in the ground. So this is one of the prairies that's looking really good. Kevin, I appreciate you doing all the hard work that you do and your crew, because without them, it'd be hard to do all this stuff. So thank you. Well, I'm so glad that Kevin was here today. That worked out perfect. It gives you now some baseline to what you're going to be looking for in that first year prairie. And I'm so glad to see that despite the drought that we had last year, that thing's doing really, really, really well. But here we're standing in a prairie that's 3 years old. If you remember the video from last year, Scott and I were somewhere over there and we were just talking about how good a bedding that it creates. And this is so cool because even after the winter, you can see most of the grass is still popped up. There's plenty of spots for deer to bed in here. Great nesting cover for turkeys. And you don't have to burn your prairies every single year. This one here will not be burned, and I probably won't even burn it next year. I think they recommend every 3 to 5 years to burn your prairie, or depending upon if you got a lot of invasive species coming in. But just a quick little walk through here, you can see the nice tall Indian grass sticking up. You can see some big blue standing up. Just nice, heavy, still great for deer to be able to bed down. I could see when we first came up into the prairie over there that there were a couple of beds. It looked like a smaller deer, probably a couple doe. This prairie here is actually right by a road, so I don't expect it to get used as heavy as some of the prairies that are going to be further away from the road, and they're much bigger. The bigger you can make a prairie, the better. But again, the reason why these prairies are so great, it's not a monoculture. You just don't want one big stand of switchgrass. You want to be able to have this varying cover. That's what deer like the best. I love these things, and I know in a couple more years, when all these prairies are established, this is going to be a deer mecca. Today's been a great day despite the rain, and we still have not got word from Justin. He's out hunting right now, and still the birds are not cooperating. I told him it was going to pour down a rain, and then the bird was just going to come on out right after the rain, but so far that has not happened. Today's been great, guys. We've been able to walk around, look at all the different prairies that I've had. some that were only established last year, and some that were established like almost 3 years ago. And it's just so cool to see these things coming along, and I just know the benefit that these are gonna have for this property in years to come. But it's that time now to mention who the lucky winner is, who's gonna get help building their own prairie for their own property. But before we do that, guys, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below, give us a bell, stay notified when our videos come out. It definitely helps us out, and we would appreciate it. But here we go. Luke Pitney, you are the winner of the Native Prairie Support or Helpline. We'll call it whatever you want to call it. We're going to be here for you. We're going to get you some seed. There's plenty of time because you generally want to start getting those in June, so the timing will be perfect. We're going to reach out to you. But guys, in the meantime, the weather's beautiful. It's April. Get out on your properties, your leases, get your stands moved, and get ready for the fall, because before you know, it's going to be here. Super valuable lesson, and I will be doing things differently in the past. More people, more equipment. Okay, ready? In the past? Good point.